We're going to be doing a breakdown here for the PFL number 7. This is actually going to be the first playoffs that they're going to be doing for the 2021 season, and it's going to be headlined by Rory McDonald versus Ray Cooper III. Really interesting fight there where we have Rory, who's kind of the guy that they brought in to potentially be, the new tournament champion this year, obviously the biggest name maybe in the PFL, taking on Ray Cooper III, who is the last winner of the welterweight tournament, who's a guy that's been a mainstay at PFL and has made his name through that promotion. So kind of like a new versus old type of thing there. See if Rory can, show that he's the dominant guy, or if Ray Cooper can, keep his foot on the throne there. But the rest of the card is pretty good as well. Before we get the breakdown started, I just want to give a big shout out, big thanks to everyone that supports the channel, that watches the videos. Just make sure to hit that like button. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video. And if you want to check out the full card breakdown for this one, as well as betting tips and bets that I'm posting, check out the Patreon. I am going to be dropping a full card predictions for this PFL. This is just going to be the main card picks. And I'm also already dropped a few bets and a Bellator video as well on the Patreon. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to go and give it a look if you're not over there, and hopefully we can win some money this weekend. But I'm going to start with the main event here. We got Rory McDonald taking on Ray Cooper III, and it's an interesting fight because I feel like, when you're looking at their two skill sets, Rory McDonald has the superior skill set. He's the better fighter, I suppose, technically. He has probably sharper striking, more technical striking. He's longer. He has the nice jab. He can throw punches in bunches. He can attack the body. And when he shows up and he's looking good, he can be very dangerous, very hard to deal with on the feet. Nice kicking game as well. He's, sharp. He's fast. He throws straight shots. And, he's not really a finisher, but he could, pepper you, keep you at that distance, back you up, keep the volume high, dominate over that 3 rounds. And he can also grapple a little bit as well, so he can blend it. And he's a good fighter for sure. I mean, I feel like at this point, though, the thing that you kind of have to question more about Rory is where he is mentally, because it seems like certain fights he doesn't really let it go as much. He's had, thoughts of retiring. He's had some bad performances, took some beatdowns, and you don't really know 100% where his mental is at. Like, I feel like his last fight with Gleison Tibau, obviously, that was a robbery. A lot of people felt like he should have won the fight. I think almost everybody. And, he did win that fight. But he made it close. The judges gave the decision to Gleison. And, he just looked bad in that fight. I felt like he allowed Gleison to back him up too much. Throw those big shots. And Gleison isn't nearly as fast. Doesn't have the, durability or cardio that he once had. So I feel like Ray Cooper, he could fight in a similar way to Gleison, but he's just much bigger. He's more dangerous. He's faster. He's more explosive. Ray Cooper, he comes forward. He throws. He's gotten a little bit better, I feel like, with his sharpness and just kind of the way that he strikes. I feel like he isn't as wide and crazy with his punching anymore. He more now, I've seen him use the jab a little bit more, try to use some straight shots. And he, closes distance a little bit better. He cuts the cage off. But when he gets in a range, make no mistake about it, the guy's a brawler. He wants to throw his hands, throw big hooks, wide shots, knock you out, and he has big power. He has some of probably the best power in the welterweight, division, especially for PFL. But, I feel like, any welterweight in the world, he definitely has some of the biggest power, just, punching power. And, he's dangerous in those exchanges. One thing about him is he does get wide and kind of crazy, so he's been knocked out a couple times. He got knocked out by John Howard, which was a bad look for him. And, I feel like, he's gotten a little bit better with that, and Rory McDonald isn't going to throw heat like that to knock him out, so I feel like he's going to be able to use his style and back up Rory with those big hooks. And he also has a good wrestling background. He's really strong. He's hard to take down. He has good takedowns of his own. And I feel like Rory may try to take him down. I mean, when you look at it, he hasn't really had someone try to take him down since Magomed Kirimov. And he fared decently in that fight, but did get submitted. And Rory, has a tendency to take guys down. But Ray Cooper, big, strong. I feel like he's going to be, hard to just take down and control over 3 rounds. And I just don't trust Rory in this fight. I don't think he's going to be able to, get his combinations going because I think he's going to be weary of that power. I think he's going to be backing up, trying to stay on that jab, and I think Ray Cooper's just going to want it more, throw more combinations, be a little bit, in his face a little bit more, and just be a little bit more active, I feel like. I think that he's the hungrier guy. He's the one that, even though he won the $1 million last year, he wants to show that, he's a legit guy in MMA. He doesn't want to just be known as this person that wins $1 million over in PFL. And I just feel like he's going to go in there and just, walk him down, throw the bigger shots, eye-popping shots to the judges, and get the win in this fight. I don't think Roy's going to be able to take him down and control him. And I feel like even potentially Ray Cooper could, hold him against the cage, control him there. I just wouldn't really grapple too much with Rory because Rory does have the big jiu-jitsu edge. But Ray Cooper, he's hard to submit overall. I just feel like he's going to be able to go out there and just get this win. So I'm going to go with the slight underdog here, Ray Cooper, in the main event, and I think he's going to be able to pick up the victory here.
McDonald, you and Ray Cooper have both acknowledged that it felt like this fight was destined to happen. You two were on a collision course, and it happens tomorrow night in the semifinal. How do you expect it to play out?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight. Since I got signed with PFL, I knew me and Ray were going to meet up, so I'm excited for tomorrow night. I'm going to put on a great performance.
And how do you deal with the pressure of a guy like Ray Cooper III? He's explosive. He's always coming forward. How do you solve that puzzle?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have the skills and the ability to adjust to guys who fight like that. So, I'll be waiting for that and have traps ready for it.
Thank you, Rory. Traps set potentially for Ray Cooper III. And with that, we go over to the Season 2 champion. Ray, I'm going to ask you the same question. You knew that this fight was destined to happen. You were asking for it as soon as Rory McDonald was signed to the Professional Fighters League. Now you face him with an opportunity to go to back-to-back-to-back championship fights. How do you make it happen?
I'm just going to go out there, put the pressure on him, and put him away.
When you hear him say he's maybe got some traps set up for you, what's your reaction?
I don't know. I'm going to run through traps, whatever. It's going to be a fight. He knows it, and I know it. We're going to fight, and that's it.
And we're all looking forward to it. Ray Cooper III, Rory McDonald, your main event for the first of our 3 consecutive playoff events here at the Seminole Harbor.
And I'm not sure we got Sadabusi stepping in here on fairly short notice. He's going to be taking on Magomed Karikov. And, man, when you got one of these guys named Magomed Karimov, I think you know what their game plan is going to be. He's going to want to go in here and take the fight to the ground. And Sadabusi, he's a big, long, rangy kickboxer. He's been training at Extreme Couture, and it's shown, he's gotten a lot better with his takedown defense. He's gotten a lot better physically in his appearance and, just putting on muscle mass, things like that. But, with this matchup, he's a minus 800 for a reason. There's not a big breakdown here. He's going to be trying to keep it on the feet, keep that range, use his distance. And Magomed Karikov, he's going to be coming in, trying to get the takedown, has a really good submission game when he does get it to the ground, very aggressive. And on the feet, I feel like something was going on in that first fight with Melender, like he had a knee injury, something like that. And I do feel like that's probably why he pulled out of the first fight for PFL as well, because, he wasn't taking those leg kicks very well. So that's something that obviously Sadabusi is going to be trying to do. And I feel like Sadabusi is a little bit better on the ground than Melender in terms of just staying calm, not getting just submitted right away, even though he's not very good on the ground either, Sadabusi. But, just looking at the fight, it's kind of tough to think Sadabusi is going to be able to keep it on the feet, control range, and win the fight. Because I just feel like Magomed Karimov is going to be able to get the takedowns here, get it to the ground, either get the submission or get the knockout via ground and pound. He has kind of mixture. He has 19 finishes. You see that right there, 10 knockouts, 9 submissions. So, pretty even in terms of the way that he finishes fights. And I feel like in this one he may struggle a little bit early with the range, but whenever he gets the first takedown, he's going to take a lot out of Sadabusi, in my opinion, really kind of keep him on the ground, use that top pressure, land some big ground and pounds, maybe put him in some submission danger. And I think you're going to start to see Sadabusi kind of slowly get a little bit tired, wilt a little bit. He is, I don't know how short notice, because they have these, PFL tournaments going on week to week. So he probably was getting ready for a fight, pretty close. But he was taking this. He wasn't supposed to fight Kirimov. I know Kirimov's supposed to fight somebody else here. And the only thing I'm worried about, though, obviously, is if Magomed has that knee injury, Sadabusi may be able to defend the takedowns and may be able to, hurt that leg and win the fight that way. He is a big, strong guy. He's a good striker. And, that's what he's going to be trying to do. But I don't see this fight being overly competitive, really. I think Magomed Karimov's going to be able to take him down, probably get into a dominant position, finish the fight within the, first 2 rounds. Sadabusi is tough to finish. He is pretty, a tough guy. You saw that in his fight with Glyco Franca. But I feel like he's not going to have enough here against Magomed Kirimov. So give me, Magomed Kirimov to get the win in this one. But, I mean, man, with the odds, you maybe could throw in some parlays and stuff like that, but you're not going to be betting him straight, minus 800. There's not really a lot to say about that one. And the next fight here, we got Clay Collard taking on Raush Manfio. Really a pretty good fight here. I mean, Raush Manfio, he's came into PFL in surprise. He's gone 2-0, 2 upsets, both split decisions, so he was in close fights. And with this style, kind of a counter puncher, he's a big puncher. He has some power, but if he doesn't get that finish, it's probably going to be a pretty close battle. Clay Collard, his opponent, on the other hand, has gone 2-0 as well in the PFL. Big upset victory in his debut against Anthony Pettis, and then followed that up with kind of a lackluster performance, but he got it done against Jordan Luderbach. Jordan Luderbach did miss weight in that fight, I believe, by a pretty significant margin, so that was something that played a factor in my opinion, especially with the heavy grappling and with Clay Collard getting a little bit tired. But Clay Collard is a dog, like always. He kind of, was able to dig that fight out in that 3rd round and show that he wanted it a little bit more than Joyton. But in this fight, I feel like it's going to be 2 guys on the feet. Like I said, Raush Manfio, he's more of a counter striker. He likes to, counter with that big straight right hand, big overhand right. He has a nice left hook. And he has some power in his punches, and he has some speed, explosion. He's pretty big for the division, muscle-wise. He's not like a tall guy, but, pretty built up. And I feel like, obviously, he's going to have a chance in this fight because Clay Collard is a hittable guy. He comes forward, and Clay Collard, he's a beast, though. He throws punches in bunches, super fast. You see him right there. And, I mean, he really pushes the pace. He backs guys up. He forces them to fight in a war. And I feel like, with this fight, he's definitely going to have the higher volume. Wider arsenal of shots. He throws to the body. He'll come up top to the head. He has real nice hooks. He can throw straight shots. He's good in the pocket. He can exchange. He's durable. So in terms of boxing, he's really good, man. I mean, he has some high-level boxing wins as well. And, the thing that he struggles with are guys that, could take him down. And, obviously he gets hit a lot, so eventually maybe he's going to get knocked out. But as of now, his chin is still really good. And I feel like, with Raush Manfio, Raush isn't really going to try to take him down, I don't think. I think it's going to be more on the feet. Manfio may, attempt a couple takedowns, but I don't think he's going to really go for him too hard. And I don't think it's going to be his game plan to, just hold Clay on the ground. I think that he's going to be looking to, pull him into the big shots, land the counters, and he's going to trust in his power, his 7 knockouts, that he's going to knock Clay out. But I think it's going to be Clay, maybe taking some decent shots in that first round. But, eventually I think he's going to start wearing him down with the body shots. I think he's going to start, going up top, start busting Raush up a little bit, getting Raush a little bit tired. And I think once Manfio starts to slow down, I think that's when Clay is going to start to pick it up. It's going to be more apparent that he's winning the fight, and going to go with Clay Collard to get the win here. But this is a good one, man. I mean, this is the first round of the playoffs. $1 million is a big incentive. These guys are having to fight a lot, and they're going to have to push here, try to get the win. I feel like this fight's not going to be as taxing for Clay Collard. I don't think he's going to get very tired because I think it's going to be a more, boxing-oriented fight. I don't really see, Raush pushing the pace. And I'm going to go with Clay Collard here to get the decision win. Raush is durable. He's never been finished, but I think he's going to get worn down here by Clay. And the fight that's kicking off the main card, we got a rematch of Loic Radzhabov taking on Alex Martinez. And that fight was in PFL 1, so it was about 4 months ago. In the first matchup, I actually bet on Alex Martinez cashed. He won a split decision as like a plus 350 underdog. And now he's a plus 145, so he's still a slight underdog here. It was a very close fight. A lot of people thought that Loic deserved the victory in that one, so I think that's why Martinez is still the underdog in this fight. And Martinez couldn't really capitalize on the win. You know, he went in there against Nathan Schultz and had a split decision loss. A lot of people felt he won that fight, but was on the wrong end of that decision. And, Loic Radzhabov did what he had to do. He went in there in his second PFL fight, needed a win and a finish to, get in the playoffs, got a 27-second knockout win over a tough guy in Akhmed Aliyev, and, reannounced himself as kind of a player for the $1 million. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do and, how they're going to fight in this fight, because the first fight was very close, competitive. But I would come in with a different game plan for this fight if I am Loic Radzhabov here. I think Loic, showed a little bit too much respect on the feet for Martinez. Obviously, for good reason. Martinez is tricky, he's dangerous with his speed, he has a good skill level. And Radzhabov is powerful, explosive, and imposing in there, but he's not quite as good of a mover. He's 5'8", Martinez is 6 feet tall, so he's significantly shorter in there. And, Martinez, though, what I'm saying is Radzhabov did do a good job of backing him up in a couple exchanges and, throwing some extended punches, some big elbows, and it looked like Martinez was getting a little bit uncomfortable because Radzhabov is fast, he has big power, and if he can, get Martinez against the cage with some big punches, elbows, throw some more shots, just get some more offense in there than the first fight, it's going to go a long way. And then, hold him against the cage, because I think that'll look better for the judges than just hunting takedowns, than not doing much when you get on top. Because Martinez was just able to, put him in submission attempts on the ground. Radzhabov really had, no ability to pass Martinez's guard, and he couldn't get off any ground and pound. It seemed like he wasn't comfortable on top because he kept standing up out of the guard of Alexander Martinez and just, trying to kick his legs, do things like that. And Martinez was the one that had a lot of the meaningful offense. Martinez was able to attack with a couple submissions. He had a pretty tight guillotine at one point. And, I just feel like, on the feet, though, even though I feel like Loic should maybe try to use some more striking here, it's going to be tough because Martinez is 6 foot. He's agile. He's skillful. He can move. And, he is going to have the ability to throw really nice kicks. He's a Taekwondo background, really fast punches. He has power. And I feel like Martinez is just going to be able to make Loic uncomfortable with that range. And just Loic, knowing that he has the ability to shut him off the fast punch or with a shot like that. And it's going to go back to it being more in the grappling realm in this one. And I just feel like Martinez is going to be able to, once again, get him uncomfortable on top by attacking submissions on the bottom. And it's going to be like, are the judges going to value the kind of control where it's like, Loic doesn't want to be on top, but he's standing over the top of him and kicking his legs and, kind of controlling where the fights take place? Or are you going to give credit to Martinez, maybe landing some decent shots on the feet, moving around, throwing up some submissions on the ground, being scrambly? I think both these guys have the cardio to go, and it's gonna be a good one. I feel like once again either guy could get the win in this fight because obviously it's kind of a 50-50 fight from the first time. But I'm gonna go with the underdog again. I'm just gonna pick Alex Martinez because when I'm looking at the matchup, I think the more dangerous guy in the fight is Martinez. Obviously, Radzhabov is dangerous early. He could close that gap, land the big knockout punch. But, Martinez is more skillful. He's the better mover. He throws the wider arsenal of attacks. And he could walk Loic on the shots at any point of the fight and hurt him. And I feel like Martinez has the more dangerous game on the ground in terms of finishing ability. Loic just tries to kind of blanket you. And I'm going to go with Martinez. I think that with this one, I feel like he's going to be a little bit more confident on the feet. He's going to chop the legs a little bit more. He's going to work the body attack a little bit more. I think that, when he gets to the ground, he's going to be able to scramble a little bit. And I think that maybe he'll be able to do a little bit better with defending the takedown. Obviously, I don't think he's going to be able to defend the takedowns too well, but he might be able to just know a little bit more what Loic wants to do, how he sets up the takedowns, things like that, keep the range a little bit better. And I'm just going to go with Martinez. He's the underdog again, and I feel like should be a pick-em type of fight here because Martinez is a little bit underrated, I feel like still. He's 6 foot, he's a 73-inch reach, he can grapple, he can strike, he's athletic, he's young, and give me Alex Martinez in this one. So thanks guys for watching this PFL breakdown. Put down in the comments which fights you agree with that I bet on, which fights that I picked, which fights you don't agree, and what you're betting on for the card. What you think about the card overall. You think this card's better, the Bellator card. And once again, if you want to get the full card predictions, if you want to check out some of the bets that I'm doing, head over to the Patreon. I'll have that in the link in the description. And really appreciate it, guys. Talk to you guys later.